I thought they were gonna play the interview of this guy, like.
Quite the reception line here in the port of Microlamano. It is festive, to say the least. As you can say, it is standing room only. The boats are packed. The shoreline is packed here at the port as everyone readies for the second heat of 3. We just saw a banger go down, and we expect
I would say renting a boat out here for this event would probably be expensive, but it's in Greece, so.
22-year-old. We expect a heavy, hot start
Maybe 50
of
bucks.
this heat. Here we go.
Yeah, he kicks it off on the bar. Nice pull side there, making his way up the boxes. A lot of athletes just figuring out ways to hit those bars clean and over the gap. Nice little funky style over the top platform. Let's see what he sets up here. Very nice side precision on that thin ledge. Ooh, and look at that good, clean Jovi and a nice
Music's
double pull
sick
down
with
that 720. Very clean and close to the wall, giving him tons of space for a big jump over the box. Nice across this gap. Back foot over.
Oh, just rammed his back there.
Comes up with a little bit close on that last box, but
that hurts.
A good run overall. He didn't fall in any of his tricks. He did run into one box, but I don't think he's going to get dinged too much because he's able to just slink his way out of it.
And hats off, too, on the blindness of that, approaching that. But up to that point, I mean, talk about how clean the landings were and what you loved about it.
Look at this pull side. I mean, he lands it fully straight up and down, and that's over a gap as well. So he can't pull it as high as he'd like to. He has to clear some distance. Nice little funky flow style across the top platform, and then sets up. You can see how thin this ledge is that he goes for with that big drop on the backside. Lands right into that vault, pops himself over here, and sets up for this Jovi down. That twisting touchdown A-twist. Very clean, 720 right there.
Was
Stomps
back
the landing,
up
just
for a
takes a
third
second
time.
to set himself, just probably thinking, oh, I'm really glad I landed that so well.
And just says, never mind, I don't want to actually be up there.
I think he was originally setting up to vault this, but he goes for just a jump into place and sets himself up with his back full over the gap. That's 360 back foot with just a little bit of extra heat.
I'm sorry, the first heat, I feel like 3 different people just
I know a lot of athletes, somebody starting for their first time in a big international competition like this, they tend to overdo it just a little bit, give a little bit too much power to some of this stuff. And I think he thought he was going to be able to vault out of that, but he saved himself really well. I think he's going to come through still with a very clean score.
Well, Ricci, this is his first art of motion. It definitely looked like he pushed through any possible nerves.
Man's wearing Vans?
And he has shown all week just how adaptable he is. Known for that kind of chameleon approach. We've watched him watching the other competitors and seen what he can sprinkle in his run. If you look at right from the get-go, the execution scores coming in at 80. If we can stay in that zone, 75 and above, he'll have a good chance. And just hit on the creativity there. 373, what do you make of the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand how they're feeling about that creativity score. It was a more traditional run. He's got this kind of trad style where he's going through a lot of stuff. He is linking it relatively well. It was all pretty clean landings overall, so I think it was more focused on just putting everything together in a good way. So I think it's a really fair score from the judges.
All right, well, Miranda Tibling coming off a small back injury, trying to push her way through.
Nice. That
online qualifier thought this was lame.
Very, very clean so far. I know she's definitely had some nerves coming into this, but she's doing really well. Nice side somebody down. Getting herself set up here. Little vault. Pushing her up for a little bit of like a half turn cartwheel there. But she's hit everything relatively clean so far. Side flip over the gap, side flip down. Good connection there. Some more flow here on the boxes. Set up for one more. Webster over the gap and calling it.
There it is. Miranda Tibling. All right, I think a lot of question about what kind of line how the judges are going to look at that on a creative level. A couple bobbles, but nonetheless,
look at that first move. I am so glad she hit that. It's really, really cool to be able to see athletes using the setup. You saw how the setup kind of leans over to that side. It's a very weird angle that it freaked out a lot of athletes, but she's able to just power through it, setting up for that nice back 90.
Oh, yeah.
And look, there's one of the most powerful females in the sport right now. Punching into that.
She's only 17.
Twist. Comes here. Wasn't sure if she wanted to do something else or she just wanted to make sure she was set up here for the little palm spin. And she's making her way back and forth on this course, really covering a lot of ground, making sure she hits a lot of different parts of this. I think she kept her level of difficulty lower than we've kind of seen in some of her videos in the past, in her qualifier video that she did for the online submission. But I think she was trying to play it safe, make sure she could hit all the moves, like that side to side right there, which was very nice. And you saw her hands landed right on that box. It just shows how precise you have to be, because every inch of this boat, there's something going on, and every angle of it sets you just a little bit off from where you probably want to go.
Yeah, precarious proximity everywhere. So many corners, so many gaps. Really taking the sport of free running and just packing it so tight on these two boats. Numbers coming in at 299. She'll currently sit in second, but we expect a lot of shuffling as we move down through Ed Scott, the likes of Jared Letty, Kowalewski, and then of course Ruel. We expect some bangers in those runs, do we not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, one of the things we're really looking to see is a little bit more creativity, which is where the judges definitely dinged Miranda on that run. Oddly enough, I don't think that Jared is actually an athlete who's really known for his creativity. He's known for being able to hit power moves in tight places. So we might actually see him focusing on getting creativity points from his course choice.
The power hour is just
I'm hoping it happens. Hoping when someone transfers from the boat in the finals that will happen.
And let's see what he gets here. Nice! Push gainer
Still hasn't moved on.
That nice gainer 360.
Oh, that was pretty sick, actually.
In the tightest spot.
I want him to just cross the balance beam. Balance on top of it.
He's already packed a ton into this run.
Here we go. Will he do it?
Side summit off the rail.
The side rail.
Oh,
he dislocated his
something
shoulder.
must have happened to his shoulder right there. He's going to have to call it. Yeah, he's had a really long week. I mean, he qualified on site. That means he went through the grueling on-site process. 10-minute jam session to start off with, then the finals. Now he's been here training hard on this boat. I mean, if an athlete like him, like Jared, one of the strongest guys out there, who's just constantly training, can't push through on this course, then we know that
I just want to point out,
pushing everybody.
I think he could have gone through the run.
Right here. That nice back
using his shoulders a lot, could have just moved on, goes back, does a flip with the shoulders there, jumps up to grab the bar.
Easily the most activity we've seen back on the stern of the boat.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there was so much activity that he could have saved his shoulder a bit.
I'm wondering which part of this he really tweaked his shoulder on. If it was on that palm flip he hit off of the boom.
Everything looked fine until
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was maybe an old injury or something, because he went to set up for it and then stopped himself and then decided to still do it, and I think he just called it as soon as he realized he wasn't going to be able to finish strong. You know, for an athlete like Jared, I think it's all about doing your best, about showing what you're capable of. You know, he said it before. You know, he's not out here to beat any of the other athletes. He's so humble. He's
definitely lower than the other one. I just can't tell if he's like hunched over or not. Yeah, look at the droop.
They were setting up.
Oh, and yeah, his positive vibe is infectious. We've seen it throughout the week, right? And he takes that approach. It's one of those things too. We talk about the advantage when you take
or if
time
his
to
rotator disc.
It actually makes you a better competitor.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's such a cool community of athletes we've got out here. Red Bull Art of Motion is always really bringing out the best in people. You see everybody helping each other out. Like we said, Travis and Ed have been training together on this course hard, and Ed is setting up now
here we go,
what I think is going
journey.
to be a champion run. Nice, look at that punch onto the wall gainer. Back full over the gap, setting up on the bar. Giant into the position on there.
All right.
Man, already 3 bangers from Ed Scott.
Yeah, this guy just really got to limit his use of bangers.
Really, really tight waffle off of the tiniest little setup. Beautiful double board here. Slipped a little bit, but not on his landing.
Okay, he was walking.
Caster gainer over the gap. That is such a sketchy place to hit that.
Another wet spot.
Okay, he is just jam-packed in this run so far. Nice tunnel flip over the
Decides not to use the water, goes back up on the
ladder.
rope.
Very smart. Doing that underbar we saw Bob Reese do. And nice.
And he makes it.
Cork double leg out.
Very impressive. The gentleman that got second at the last Red Bull Art of Motion in Matera,
Look at these
Italy,
Greeks just walking
definitely has his eyes set on grabbing a win here today with that, just the frenetic pace
Man,
that he started
children
right
climb
out of
on
the gate.
sailboats today on Redbull TV.
Punch, gainer off the wall, back
Actually
over the
good
gap.
comment
He's
that
doing all
got
the things he's known
deleted.
for, but he's really playing to the course. He's hitting every inch of it. I love seeing this giant and then stacking
The
up
mods
precision out of
deleted
it, moving it fluidly into the next thing. I mean, he even grabbed a little
that's
palm spin on
good.
that ladder just to hit one more part of the course. Nice double cork here, a little low on the landing, but he actually didn't slip on his landing. It was on his turnaround.
That's
that little
practically
180.
most of the
sure
reason
he
why
would
I'm
love to hit
watching
that a little
this,
bit
just
cleaner,
to
but I
see
don't
if
think the
anyone
judges
does
are going
fall
to ding
into
him
the
too
water.
much for it. And look at this caster gainer over the gap, and on his landing, you see how little distance he can go forward. He really
Inches
can't
with the
go
drift.
anymore, and he goes any more to the side, and he's going in the water. Setting up every inch. I mean, I said it before, but these athletes are literally mining this course for every bit of gold that they can find. Look at this very clean tunnel, side flip over the gap. Great view on this. I mean, Ed Scott's
Someone
someone who's
crash
known
and
for
burn
hitting
into the water
huge
yet?
running precisions with tons
Not
of
yet,
space.
Sag,
He didn't
won't
have the
fun.
run up here, but it's actually fine because he's got so much power. He's one of the most athletic competitors out there. He trains like a beast. I mean, you can see
He's
it in
gotta
his
be
physique.
first,
He's
right?
an absolute monster. And look at that, putting a little bit extra steez on that landing. And smart using ladder. Now, it wasn't as difficult as Bob's because he took off from the ladder itself, but it is a good course use. So I think the judges are going to like stuff like that.
Air awareness like a cat. He has that gymnastics background, but he makes it free running, which definitely is not an easy thing to do.
1-1, 1-2,
396.
1-1.
So Ed Scott will catapult to the top spot. Remember, each heat of 6 competitors, only the top 2 will advance to the final. So right now, Ed Scott is looking awfully
That
comfortable.
other guy looked high
but
as
there's
fuck.
2 more competitors yet to go.
Okay.
And one of them definitely
Predictions: this guy is absolutely gonna kill it. He's gonna.
So we're talking about Kowaleski.
Yeah, Christian is one of our most
Bryce
veteran
Young loves
competitors
him.
on the course. He's been in tons of competitions all around the world. He's got a huge bag of tricks. He has suffered from a lot of different injuries, but he's got
big loop.
so much
Ooh,
experience.
big
Oh my
flip.
God, look how
Great.
graceful that flyway cat into that
Okay.
nice pop, cast back.
Give it a
makes his way
sec.
back up onto the
Not
the
taking
top of
too
the
long
boat.
up there like the guy who got hurt,
A
but
twist down.
moving with
See what he
great
sets up
flow,
right here.
as they
Coming
like
out
to
on the
say.
beam. Very nice,
Very
clean
nice.
gainer
Closest
over
we've
that
had to someone
gap.
falling
Of
in the
course,
water
he's got
yet.
that water on the other side. Ooh, that precision wall flip right there.
Very
Such a
nice.
sketchy setup for it. Palm flip on the beam, setting himself up, and he's going to call it there. Smart move from Christian. I think he hit all of his highest moves there. Wasn't going to add much more on the end of the boat.
New addition to the Red Bull team. Christian definitely found the flow. He came in so hot right from the start.
Yeah, I think he knew that front side of the course is where he had a lot to do. So look at this, how clean this flyway cat is. I mean, it was so perfect.
Yeah, that
He
was
pops up to
perfect.
cast
That
back,
sequence was
then
sick.
pushes himself right back up. I mean, he's a beast on the bar, so I know he was going to use that for something, and I know he's got
Man
some
missed
even
the
crazier
Tokyo
stuff planned for
Olympics,
finals,
so
I hope
he's
to
just
see him
like,
make it
alright,
through
I'll
there.
do this, I
Might have
guess.
had something a little bit more difficult planned there, but decided to take it easy because he wanted to hit this gainer over the gap. Definitely going to be dinged a little bit for his flow here, but wow, look at the landing on this
That
gainer
was sick,
precision.
and then show
Stuck it.
the. Yeah, this box was also sick.
And this was the one I think that got us up a little bit.
Oh man, it's so sketchy. And every time we're on this boat, it's hard to see when the cameras are on the boat as well, but it is rocking back and forth. So to hit with such precision, I mean, if he misses that, he's going down. All right, nice.
Come on, go down,
Flip
go
off that
down.
beam, comes down in here. Rolling
Yes.
over into the finish line and calling it there. As we said, a veteran competitor, very smart. I think he covered a lot of ground that he needed to. He knew he didn't need any more.
he's gotta
He
be
wasn't
number
gonna
one,
add
right?
Any more points.
Always
potential
confident
for
of
risk.
his abilities. Yes or no? Yeah.
You know, I mean, on multiple times, he even took practice off. Oh my, look at that execution. Paying off
Execution
right
Okay.
there.
92,
Okay.
I believe, one of the highest we've seen come in, as those are the kind of numbers you want.
Yeah,
in the
dude.
80s.
Yeah, dude.
419, the highest score
Yes.
we've seen out of a possible 500. So, all but guaranteed.
And
yeah,
he
we'll
got
be seeing
gypped
Christian
on the
in
creativity because he
finals.
ended
One
early.
more
If he would have continued to go, he
competitor
probably
here
would have
in
got
Heat two.
first on
So
that
Christian,
too.
his ticket is punched for the finals. The big question, can our next competitor
16, so they were definitely
Ed
wrong in
Scott,
saying that
it's going to be
Noah
a tall,
was the youngest
tall
person
order.
here.
She is, however, the first woman to hit the double cork in competition. It would take lightning in a bottle on this run.
All right, setting up on the bar.
Ooh.
Nice. Swings, just flat back. Very good. I haven't seen a ton of bar moves from Lilu in the past, so it's nice to see her hitting that up.
Okay.
Ooh,
Oh,
a
little slip, but
so clean.
that might
I mean, you
cost
can
her.
tell her drinking's gotten even better since the last time. She's really
Unfortunately,
nailing
the
these
scores
moves
are
she
tight.
struggled with in the past.
Nice. Can
Coming
she
up.
get up?
Let's see
Nice
if she hits
hop.
this swing cast. Here she goes. Very nice.
Very nice.
Stopping just a little bit. She'll lose a little bit on flow there, but she's still moving, still grooving. Nice touchdown right there.
Very nice.
She's covering a lot of ground right now, trying to add up some of these moves, coming with a little jump over the gap.
I thought she
Some
was just
extra
gonna
flow
use the
here.
water right there. Just hop right in.
Hits that A-twist over the
Alright.
but just a little bit low there, but she pulls it out with the vault. Comes up onto the ladder, trying to use a little bit more of the course.
Nice.
Corks
Good
over
finish.
the final gap. Wow.
That is going to do it for Lilu Ruel. And I think the face says it all.
Yeah, very happy with that run.
She left everything.
She should
on
be
the-
happy with
the
that
two
run.
boats.
It was
Alright,
a
so
good
look at
run.
this start.
I don't think she'll get
Swing into
just
that
jump
pounce
into the
and throw it to that
water.
back. That's a very tight spot and landing on a slant.
I
which is
thought
hard
this
to
was
tell
the
from
cliff
this,
jumping
but, all right,
one.
here she sets up.
That's what we should watch
twist
tomorrow.
Into the cartwheel, pushing herself into a really
Miami,
good position.
cliff jumping, Red Bull.
Side flips down, and comes up with this hanging, swinging back.
This was actually pretty
Very
sick.
clean on the landing. Stops a little bit, which is going to ding her on the score.
This part
for
just
her
looked like a
flow,
floor
but she's
routine
able
in
to pull it
gymnastics.
through.
Pretty sick kick.
She's been training a lot in her own backyard over the last year, actually. She gave herself a really cool little setup just to hit all of the basics you'd see in almost any course. And I can see some of
This
the
was
moves that
sick
she's
too.
been hitting there in her yard coming through very clean in this run
Little
here.
360 spin.
I
no
love
scope.
checking out how she's just finding every little spot where she can pull out something
She's
more.
16. Holy
You can tell
cow.
her
At
endurance
16,
is a
I think
lot
I was playing
stronger here.
RuneScape for 10 hours a day.
And hitting that twist early on, I think it's like one of
She's
the harder
young. I mean,
moves
she's
that
probably
you're
gonna
gonna see
grow
from
a
any
bit
of the
more
ladies.
too,
That could be a
and
best
like
trick.
longer legs. She could have like.
I
Well,
mean,
she easily would have
it's
hit
amazing
that.
just to see the level that
And
she's at right now.
This
You know,
next
she
jump where
was
she
hitting that double
stumbles, she
cork
comes up short.
for the
She
first
would
time
just
ever, and now
not
she's hitting in
fall
the
short
middle
there.
of her run, just stomping out and going on to a cork over the gap at the end of her run. I mean, you got to have excellent endurance to be able to push through like
And you were
that.
talking about she's been working on her trick
Just chilling.
combos. Are you loving what you're seeing in this? How she's able to kind of, evolve and find that progression?
Yeah, I mean,
Why does it
you know,
sound
one
like
of the things I
Austin?
love is just seeing her as a smarter competitor overall. How can I use more of this course? How can I be smart? How can I play to my strengths, but also take off boxes for the judges?
Well, a great view of our very, very creative course here at 2021 Red Bull.
The
Art of
show,
Motion,
Mr.
as
Show.
We are just wrapping up our second of 3 heats. Remember, 6 competitors in each heat. Only the top 2 advance for our 6-athlete final. And it has been a nail-biter right from the get-go. Every heat completely stacked with talent from around the world. This is a veritable UN nations of free running. We've established the best free runners
UN
as well as our
nations of
judging
running.
panel, a very esteemed judging panel. As you can see, it's standing room only here in Micro Alemano Port, a beautiful port, and they are really bringing this port back to life in the past couple of years.
Yeah,
It's
newly
becoming a
remodeled,
hot spot.
brand
Yeah.
new, gorgeous setup.
So
Perfect home for this.
346, not
that's
enough to
that's,
move on, but we'll see
honorable
how
score.
those numbers sit at the end of the day. We will be crowning a female champion, but there's also the overall champion, one from the finals. So Lilu Ruel, a 346, but that means Koleski and Ed Scott will move on to the finals. Great news for Christian and Ed.
Yeah, and you
On
know,
the
I think
pirate
they took
rope and
2 different
360
approaches to their
backflip
training.
in the
Ed Scott
water.
was out there hammering it out every day, testing every single move, setting himself up, planning for every single step. Whereas Christian
That's a 10.
Koleski, a little bit more experienced, also trying to save his body, basically tested everything
Why
once.
is
and then
USA
he
at
showed up
0?
one day in
Okay,
hotel
someone just got
slippers to
here
the
and is
training 'cause
asking
he
stupid
didn't want
questions.
to overdo it and stress his body out.
That just epitomizes the vibe here. It's been really good.
Yes, but obviously it worked out for him. Look at that 419, putting him at the top of Heat 2.
Why is the
A
US at 0?
well-deserved
What's a-
score for him, and also a very great showing
Assassin's
for Ed
Creed
Scott.
IRL. All right, let's get to Heat 3
So
here.
our
Here we go.
first 2 heats of 3 are in the books as we inch closer to establishing a champion and making it all official. here in Athens, Greece, as once again we drop in from high above and check in with Bench Cave.
The drone shots are kind of sick, though.
I'm here with heat number 2's first place
Oh,
qualifier,
don't fuck up
Christian.
this time.
Were you expecting to make it through to the finals with such a talent-stacked heat?
Don't fuck up.
Yes. I wasn't 100% sure, but everything worked out
I
as
was.
it planned. And
As
I
soon
was
as you
thinking,
stepped
like,
up
it's
and you were
enough
like
to make it to the
meditating, I'm
finals.
like, all right, he got it.
And it did. I'm really happy everything worked out. I didn't fail
We
anywhere.
won
so
Corona.
yeah,
Lower
ready for
score
the finals.
wins is golf,
Amazing
right?
run. What was
Could be
going through your
Britain
head
every year in
before
golf.
you started your run?
Nothing. Like, it's completely clear before. I'm just vibing to the music, just walking around, visualizing the run. I slightly changed it mid-run because, like, I did aerial twist. I was thinking about doing double, but then I just felt my legs, so I pulled one, and that was the right decision because, like, I think I could fail there. But yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
Amazing
Give
run.
us
Here
the
you
double.
Here you guys go. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? Can we say
Thank you.
that kind of confidence acceptable when
Yeah.
he can pull out the hammers like he can.
Absolutely. Look at this setup here. Oh my
This
God, the
was so
stretch for
sick.
it. You got to be so precise and you got to fully commit. You know, some of these moves, like when Ed Scott was hitting a similar move, he's a little bit closer. He really didn't have to get his foot on there, but the way Christian did it and where he did it, if he didn't get his foot on there, he'd have been face first on the ground.
And just still a little slack jawed as we watch the moves here. Before we get to Heat 3, we once again check in with Kaz.
Can we
Kaz.
see the first heat again? I still think, except for him, this guy sucked.
How was that? I mean, you look very focused.
Yeah, I was pretty focused. My main focus was about breathing and
this guy
stuff.
fucking
I
sucked.
already have my whole plan, all-around plan out. So I was just thinking about breathing, not mess up anything, and just trying to have fun and have best time out here.
And how is it when you've seen all the stops that other people have pulled out? Does it add to the pressure and does it make you adapt and change yours, run a little bit?
Not at all. I think everybody in this competition have made up their minds like probably yesterday, and I don't think anything would make change what you do, even if they throw harder stuff or stuff that you didn't expect it. I think everybody stick to what they planned, and I did the same as well.
And you've been practicing with Shay and Aiden.
Yes.
So how has your rehearsals been with them? And of course,
Got will
how
admit,
exciting
that
is
was
to see Shay?
that was cool.
So
This
I think you
was
might
not as
see
cool
the
as
best trick in this
most of
competition
them.
from Shea coming.
Ooh.
I think so. I'm not sure because I know something else
Ooh.
big is coming, but you might see some crazy stuff. Hopefully, it's going to do it and it's going to be safe and everything, but it's going to be hard.
Oh, he's teasing us. He's teasing us. Well, I'm very excited for that now. It's back to our commentators.
great
Thank you, Kaz.
interviewer,
We
to
can
be fair.
always expect the inside intel from you. I love it. Digging out the goods. Just another reason to get excited
jump
for our
in the
next
water.
heat. Heat number 3. Our final 2 transfer spots to the finals will be established. And our first competitor up will be none other than Lokim Theodoridis, a.k.a. Mimi. He trains with DK. And those of you that weren't on the memo, unfortunately, DK had to pull out of the competition due to injury. Very
Yeah.
disappointed that he's not here competing in his home country of Greece.
Yeah, I mean,
But
DK is without a doubt a local legend here. I mean, he's been called by others in the past the Greek god of free running. But one thing he's really done after being a 2-time Red Bull Art of Motion champion in Santorini is bringing out the huge community here in Greece. I mean,
Yeah, dude, this
it
place would
is
be a vibe.
Fantastic community of athletes they have out here, and a lot of them came up watching Red Bull Art of Motion happening right here, and it has inspired so many athletes like Mimi's, who is now performing on the same stage he grew up watching on TV.
well, the good news for the fans watching from around the world, we will be hearing
Come
from
on.
DK on the show later on.
How much does it
As
take
you
it
can
to
see,
Greece?
the vibe here, like I said, it's it's beyond festive. Just picture summer in Greece. Beautiful temperatures, people on boats,
500
people in the
bucks.
port. It does
Lunch
not
is
get
one
any better.
tomorrow.
And then you throw in the best free runners in the world.
Oh,
It
wait,
is
we can't travel
it is a
yet.
cocktail of ouzo
can't travel
and
till
awesomeness.
August 1st.
So Just sit back,
Wait
enjoy
a
the show.
minute.
We're
Yeah.
going to keep bringing the images, and we will crown a champion here today. Lots of excitement getting ready for our third heat as well, where we will establish those last 2 transfer spots. We talked about Mimi, who will be our first competitor, followed by Alicia Schneider, Elise Bickley, Didi Alawi, the defending champ, Shea Rudolph. Potential to see something incredibly new. We don't know what it is, but one of your favorites, Archie.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking up
Okay,
Archie
so
a lot
it's a
lately. I think
grand.
he's got a lot to bring to this course, but you can't count out Mimi's. This dude has a ton of skills that he can throw down here. It's going to all be about, can he link it, can he land it?
And you can hear an audible, raucous, extra roar for Mimi. A lot of home country support. Here he goes.
There you go, nice. Getting his first wall trick in and just bounding up the course. Setting up a nice side flip. And then
Damn, dude.
palm side, it looks
The
like
longer
he's
you
coming
stay
down
in places
onto the
like
big
that,
wall.
the cheaper the flights
Oh,
are.
cork off of that boom.
500
Very
bucks
nice, but very
round
close
trip.
to the wall. That definitely ups the level of difficulty. He's stomping through a little bit more. This is more of the Mimis that we've seen in the past, hitting a ton of
Athens
flips
gonna be
back to
looking
back to back.
fire.
A-twist over the gap.
Not to mention how
holds
cheap
down.
it is once you get there.
Little breakdancer flow there. Comes a little bit close to that edge, but nice. Flash kick out of his cork over the gap to finish. Exciting run from Mimi's, very fast. Very fluid.
Definitely kept the pedal on the metal from start to finish.
All
What was
I'm
your favorite
saying
part about that run?
is you're on a boat.
I think definitely
Probably
the middle part
hot
of the
out
course
and the
where he
water
was able to
looks
open it up a little
nice.
bit and
You might
start
as well
connecting a
just
few more
jump
of
in.
these things. You see that pop into the little down monkey on the wall there, and then he's popping up. I think it was very smart to hit something on the wall before heading up. It adds
Great
a
idea
little
to hit
bit
something
more
on the wall.
course use.
Smart guy.
I would have loved to see if he could have hit one of the bars maybe, but I know that's not his strong suit. Here he does this side flip right into that pop palm flip and comes down into this cork. See how he's rotating into the wall there so hard, because it just means you can't kick as much as you'd like to, but it shows how tight a lot of this is. And here we see him popping into a bunch more of these moves. That swing leg twist, gainer there. This is the Mimis that we see on his Instagram when he's putting together his stuff. He can find a ton of stuff to do just on one ledge and just work it over and over and over. Very reminiscent of his mentor, DK, who's able to just train and session one ledge over and over, and it makes sense since they trained together in Thessaloniki.
Well, I think with that run, I think we can officially say the sensei has left the dojo. He is, yes, once a protege under DK, but definitely making a name for himself. And it's so great to see these competitors. They're becoming prospectors of progression. You call them mining, but really finding what they're good at and able to find that linkage and letting it flow from start to finish. So we'll see how the numbers come in for Mimi, our first competitor here in our third and final heat. Remember, the top 2 will transfer onto the finals of a 6-competitor final, and today we will crown a 2021 Red Bull Art of Motion champion.
Oh,
And
today?
the numbers and awfully high. Wow, a 400. That is going to bode well for Mimi as we look down through the order. 4 more competitors to go here in heat 3. He has to be happy with that number.
Absolutely. I mean, his execution was on point. He landed everything he set out to do. His difficulty
Vector
was
in
definitely
real
there. He had
life.
some hard moves he put together. Creativity, understandably, a little bit lower than the
Oh,
rest
that
of it.
guy
because
can't wear the
he
color
wasn't really
orange.
using any part of the course nobody else is touching. He wasn't
True.
finding anything really that surprising, but he really nailed what he set out to do.
This is in
The Austrian
Detroit.
Lisa
Yeah, dude.
Schneider, you've often said
True.
she has all the ingredients, but it's going to have to all go into this one recipe, this one heat, third heat run right now.
All right, so we saw her start off in the
See something
car, come
special?
back, make her way back around to it, and using that
Alright.
actually as a way to get up, which is smart because it's a nice fluid movement there.
Okay.
Car into her A-twist, coming
That's
down
pretty
on the
cool.
box. She's very comfortable with these more
Ooh, sit jump.
connected movements.
Ooh,
Nice.
that was sick.
Seated backflip there. What we saw kind of a
Second
version
half
of what we
going
saw Bob
strong.
Reese hitting.
Oh, failed on that.
Little aerial into a step down.
Here we go.
Jumping over
Nothing
the gap,
over.
smile on her face.
Nice
Popping into
roll.
that roll off the block. Catching her foot a little bit on the ledge there. But using
Oh,
this
that was
ladder.
pretty
Oh,
sick.
I love this move. She's
Yeah.
sitting there. Very creative use of the space. I think the judges were like that as well. And cartwheel over the gap.
I was definitely feeling the creativity there, making use of that
At
dead
the end.
space. We have seen an insane amount of creativity from
There he is
all these
again.
competitors so far, and it's good to see the smile from the young Austrian.
I think one of the danger zones for an athlete like Lisa is that if she keeps her level of difficulty low, then she has to execute perfectly, and I'm not sure that's exactly what happened here. You know, she really was relying on that flow and execution score, and I'm not sure it's going to come through, but she had some very creative setups. You see how she used her left hand there to just give herself a push off the wall. I like this setup. She did go back up to the same bar. Using the same element twice is definitely going to ding her a little bit there, but I think she found some creative setups, and she's going to hopefully come through with a higher score there. Very clean landings, comes into a nice position here, gives herself a moment to set up, but not too much weight there. And she even used her hand a little bit just to give herself a little bit extra comfort room here. Nice Mikaku to set herself up. I'm wondering if she had something she was going to do here on the bar, but just wanted to save herself a little bit. Nice aerial there to get herself into position, dropping down into her roll.
Shit, dude.
Comes a little bit closer to the wall there than I believe she was probably hoping for.
Look at the cameraman in the window.
I actually really enjoyed this
Hell
move
yeah.
she used here, because each handhold that she's using, each part you can see she's grabbing on the ladder and then also on this little handle here. It's just a smart use of the space that shows she's really gone over this course and found what she can work with.
So a 3:03.
All
So
right,
right now,
unfortunately
put her
not.
third place in the women's field for Schneider as we continue on down
100-point
to
gap.
our next competitor, Elise Bickley.
Well, this is an athlete who could certainly push Lisa out of that third place position. She could potentially move up into a top position in the women's field and maybe even make it through into the finals overall. Starting off on the bar.
She's wearing Sambas
Nice
and
flyaway over that gap,
football
landing
shorts.
pretty close to the
She's
edge,
going
but
through.
hasn't slowed her down. Again, using the bar to make her way up there. At least someone very comfortable on the bar. Oh, nice palm drop into the gap. Pop cartwheel into
I don't know if that
a
was a
little DD
slip,
roll,
but I
making
couldn't
her
tell.
way down.
Nice.
Little psych spin there.
Okay, here
off
we
the
go.
wall. Big back.
Sick,
over
not
the
into the
gap.
water.
All right, definitely paying attention to the
run.
water on the other side of her. Here
That was
she is
almost
looking
it.
mean with a fierce
Ooh,
side flip
nice.
over the gap, also clearing
Great
the ledge.
run.
She makes it, lands a little bit lower than she'd like
Go
to.
flip. Go flip.
But she's setting herself up for a 360 to finish things off and calling it there on the finishing platform.
How about the boat,
She's through.
boat gap and leaving before that ledge, not even using the ledge, but started off very strong.
Yeah, nice, very clean.
Sorry, that 360
dismount
just
gainer
got
over
me.
the
It was
gap. You can see the
not
ledge right
like
there.
the rest
You
of
can
her
really
run
mess
at
herself
all.
up, but she lands it clean, makes her way back onto the bar and up. I think she's
Rest of her
probably
run was
avoiding having to
sick.
climb up. You know, for an athlete like her, it's a lot less work to swing on the bar than it is to climb up, but she makes her way into that nice palm drop. And here, look at this great backflip over the gap, stomping that landing, making sure she's not gonna tip over into our lovely port here at Micro Limino. And then huge side flip over the gap. Oh, took it a little
that's
hard on the
unfortunate.
ankle. You know, she barely was able to clear, but she also took off before the ledge, so she didn't give herself that
that's
extra
probably why.
boost of
Never
going
mind.
up for that pop side over the gap. She
Just,
made
like,
it a
rolled her
little bit
ankle.
bigger, pushing that challenge a little bit harder, finishing with that 360.
What do you mean, why is
off
it
the
so
final
expensive?
platform.
All right, so the score to beat to move into a second transfer spot would be 303, and that's out of
What
a
do you
possible
mean?
500.
Why do you think?
Top score right now is by Mimi.
What did she
our
get?
Greek competitor here, sitting on top with a 400. Remember, top two competitors advance on to the finals.
And you can see her difficulty a little bit higher than
Wait, it's not
Lisa's.
even
We'll see if it's enough to
expensive.
push her all the way out.
They didn't even jack up the
319,
price for a
Lisa
McGregor
Schneider,
fight
she'll
this
get
time.
Pushed down to third.
It's only $70 still. That's
So
the
that
regular
will
price
make,
for a
Elise
pay-per-view.
Bickley, third place in the women's division as they compete alongside the men. Very, very cool format. And there is your defending champion. If you reflect back 2 years, pre-COVID, pre-everything, this was your champion from Matera,
All right, here we
Italy,
go.
from Morocco, now residing in LA. What
Maybe
an
she won't.
incredible
Let's see it.
story. What a journey that free running has brought
I
him
just
on.
want the fight, not
Can
ESPN
He
Plus.
find the flow.
Look at that.
Bro, you
inward
have
side
Hulu.
straight
Why
away
don't
off
you
that
just get
tiny
ESPN
ledge.
Plus?
Very nice.
Get
720
Disney
back
Plus,
down,
too, or
hops up
Disney
to
whatever.
air full, spins through.
And it's cheaper.
Nice flow into that palm side.
Well, Hulu
A
itself
twist
is like
down,
$6,
setting up
right?
for something here.
I
Very
think the
clean
bundle
lazy
is
side, a little
10
bit
bucks
close to that
or
ledge,
12 bucks.
but he hits his, he stumbled
You
a
get 3
little bit. He's
services.
coming close to these walls here. I think it just shows how tight this course is. Not a lot of
Oh, I
room
thought
to
you
play
had-
with here. But he's
Oh,
jumping
wait, I
over
have
the
ESPN
gap.
Plus, so we can just watch it.
Palm spin and inward rise right to the edge of the boat.
He almost
I think
fell
the judges
in.
are probably going to ding him a little bit here, but finishes strong.
Wait, like
Nice,
Disney Plus is
clean,
like the most expensive one.
signature DD behind the back double leg.
Furious, frenetic pace, and you mentioned there was the bobbles, but was there enough? He was packing so much into it.
Yeah,
Can
you
it
see,
override?
He started off really strong, that nice pop inward side off the wall, very low ledge, nice back double full, very clean landing, as we can expect here. Comes up a little bit tight, maybe clipping his feet on that mount, gainer full, very tough move. Nice palm side, clean there, A-twist down. And then you know he was setting up here, but lands a little bit farther back than I think he'd like to, but also meant to make sure he wasn't gonna hit that ledge that he landed so close to. And here he is, circle into back cast, but I think he's just so close to these ledges. You can see how tight everything is here, but this is his biggest area that he has to play with, and he just played it so close to the wall. I'm wondering if he was just rushing a little bit through some of this stuff. But overall, he didn't fall off anything. He's still got a smile on his face.
Lame
Pulled
transfer.
off a very good run.
For a world champion.
I think he decided to pull out one of his moves there. He did, instead of flipping over the gap, he's gonna palm
was
spin
sick.
over this, which is still very nice setup for this inward rise. You can see how close he is to the edge of the boat there, and decides to finish with a signature move.
Bro, if
he
they
knows
didn't put
he
the
can stomp
railing
out
there, he
behind
would
the
have
back.
fell.
That's that
DD
DD
double
steez,
leg.
the DD steez that we love so much. So packed in so much in that run, and you could see he was just moving through the course so quickly. Just a couple of bobbles here and there, but when you talk about the technicality
about to
factor,
fall off the
difficulty,
boat.
and the progression of what he's doing, sometimes that can override, and that's why we have 5 judges. One looking at creativity, difficulty, flow,
385.
execution, overall performance, numbers dropping, and it's good to see in the upper 80s. That's where you need to be out of a possible 500. Remember, we start with 18 athletes, 3 heats of 6 competitors, and we whittle it down to
385.
6 finalists. As you can only imagine, the judges really getting out the abacus and figuring out we have to get this right. You're looking at the defending champion right now of Redbull Art of Motion, and there it is, a 4:01. Wow. We have a new leader
Very
in
close.
Heat 3, and that bodes well.
1
but
point
however,
again.
there are 2 more competitors left to go, and both of them could unseat the balance.
Yeah, I mean, look how close. Absolutely how close this competition is. I mean, he only pushed out Mimi's by 1 point, and that puts him right on the edge. I mean, it's a good seat, but it's not as comfortable a seat as I think DD would have wanted.
All right, and what we see up first, it was predicted earlier, he is getting the crowd here in Micro La Mano.
Didn't line
As
on
we
off the
can
edge?
hear
All right, here we go.
The port
Man
come
has
to
like
life.
size
I mean, I
8
know what
feet.
Jay is setting up for here, and it is massive.
Oh!
Ooh, a hard landing on the head cast.
Bro, that hurt me
position.
so much
I mean, I know that
with
Shay
my
wanted it
fucking
bad. He was
tailbone.
testing it all week, getting set.
Oh, that fucking look.
That big pin flip
Ah,
down
dude.
over the wall.
Flashbacks to
Over
the fucking
gap,
seasons
side
I
foot
used to get.
precision, making his way into
Oh.
a nice gate here. Ooh, very tiny back 90, low cast back, and finishing it. Wow, just
Go get medical
blazing
attention,
through
dude.
that course.
Go see
No
a
biggie,
chiropractor
folks. But can
fucking
we-
immediately.
How do you instantly bounce back from a miss like that?
I mean, sometimes I think that's the only way to go. When
Yeah.
you take a hit like that, I mean, he basically almost missed his feet completely. We'll see another take on it. He said this was his max distance on this cast back. He just caught his heels, set up to try to dash down, but he caught a lot of his hips. If he waited any longer,
shit.
he'd start to feel it in his back, and he probably wouldn't have been able to finish this run as strong as he did. But overall, really, that was his only
looks so
mistake here. So he
painful.
will get dinged for that. I mean, probably pretty hard because that was a hard hit, but it was also a big move.
So much commitment right from the get-go.
Yeah.
You talk about that high risk, high
I'm just
reward when you do it
screamed-
right at the start of your
screamed
run.
hemorrhoids in here.
Yeah,
Nice.
and you can see he's just
The
pushing
bone
through
hurts
here.
looking at it. Yeah, dude.
Little A-twist into this pimp flip. Very nice. A little low on the landing, but he steezes through it and comes away. I mean, he really just powers through the rest of this
What
course.
if he used his
Going
nuts
over the
as a
gap, which is
seat?
nice because he doesn't slow down. I mean, he really didn't slow down
Dude,
at all, even
no.
considering he finished so hard on that first
Holy.
move.
And such a great story with Shea Rudolph. Started as a super fan, and now he's competing against, well, the defending champion. I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, listening to him talk with his twin brother on the course, who also almost, arrived to the on-site qualifier, but they have an encyclopedic knowledge of this competition. They were calling years back, saying, "Oh, I remember when Alfred Scott hit this. I remember when this happened in Santorini years ago." And they grew up watching this competition together, and it's amazing to see them competing at this level now.
Yeah, and to see the kinship, just the support all these athletes give each other. 371, just outside of the top 2, but that means our defending champ, he is guaranteed a fast track to the finals. The big question, Mimi, as we see him there to the right of your screen, will he find his way to the finals? Only one other competitor to go here in our third and final heat, and that is Archie Aroyan, the Russian, one of your favorites. If anyone could upset the balance, it's this gentleman right here.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, wow. Skipping the first part of the course. A very interesting
for it.
move, but it means he's got to have something
just
big
watched
that
someone
needs a
murder their
perfect setup
tailbone.
before to
Go
start.
for it.
I mean, I want to see the best from Arch. Oh, look at that. Back full on the ledge, right into
Skip.
back 90 off. That's not what I was expecting, but he pulls the Cartahara right there.
Okay, well, he's
Very nice
kind of
move,
freaking.
very
They just
clean.
skipped the
Let's see
first
what he
part of
sets
the
up.
boat.
Ooh, double pistol side. That shotgun freeze, he's holding in there. Very clean, double full, gyros out a little bit,
low.
almost a 2.5 there. 360 over the gap, dashing over the distance
Oh,
there
it's
onto
better
the
than
block.
that.
A-twist down and finishing. Man, what a quick run from Archie.
Fast, furious, but yeah, lots of sneakiness in
Yes,
there.
and very clean. This is not the run that we expect from Archie. We're used to seeing very long lines, lots of connections, lots of moves.
Lots of choreography right at the end, too.
This is the best one so far. I mean, he was definitely the cleanest, but I don't think he was the most
Maybe
creative.
she taught him some moves. But look at that back full precision into that back 90 off, popping off into it very, very clean, right into this Cartahara. He steps down, Kongs, boom, he hits that. See, he's doing this flip off of his hands over the wall, so tough.
I grabbed this
Lands
plus
very
2
nice. You see that
points.
signature smooth steez from Archie, and sets himself up for this shotgun double right here. Wow. Look at that.
The English on that as well.
I don't know if he's over
Yeah, it's
400.
such a sketchy move because it's so easy to go way too off access.
Can be at like
And look at that little pop,
$3.99.
Psych freeze. Very clean double with a little extra 90 on the end. I mean, Archie can hit triples in his sleep. So I'm really interested to see we didn't hit it. He might have been saving it for the finals. I mean, he cut a lot of this course out. He did play it, in my opinion, very safe. But I think because of how clean everything was and how high level of difficulty, it's going to be enough to push him through into the finals. But we'll have to see what the judges have to say about
the
it.
score to beat to move in to that transfer spot. Mimi is holding on to a 400. Didi's already guaranteed because he's currently sitting in the top spot. So it's really going to come down to just hairs.
Or they wear shoes with like zero
fractions-
padding too.
Fractions of numbers as the scores come in.
Damn, his creativity is first? Are you on crack?
So, but it's not about taking the
Difficulty
lead here in
first?
E3. It's about punching your ticket to the finals. So Archie, along with defending champ Didi Alawi, will move on to the final. Unfortunately for our Greek competitors, Mimi is pushed to that third spot, which means we will not be seeing him in the finals.
Well, this is very interesting to see. I think, as we've seen, our two top athletes from
Damn.
each heat,
Good
Christian
run, but
Koleski
damn.
and Archie Aroyan, both hit short runs, very short, but they were not dinged for that. They were able to come through with really high scores. It shows the judges don't really care so much about seeing a lot of moves. They want to see really good moves landed really well.
And the numbers don't lie. A 433. Archie knew exactly what he wanted to do. He played it smart. You were talking about this course. It plays to his strengths. But defending champ Didi Alawi, the good news for him, he wants to prove, yeah, I'm not a one-time
Bro,
wonder.
this-
I'm going to go back-to-back. So will
This
we see a
course,
two-time
the Russian hacked the
back-to-back
course.
champion? We will
Russia
have to wait
bad.
for the
What
finals
is
to find
going
out.
on? Count all the votes. That's You
So
broke
chance to
into the
exhale.
voting
Frosty, I
system.
know we've been you know, pretty nonstop right from the get-go. So now
That
that
is
the, you know,
crazy.
the 3 heats are in the books, what do you make of it? Versus expectations versus what we saw?
Bring back the drone.
I mean, we saw a lot of what we expected to
into the
see, but
people.
very little of it in the way we planned on it going. I mean, so much has gone down here. People are pulling things out of the bag that we have not seen before. Everybody is going big. I mean, if you could look in our booth right now, you'd see we're all on the edge of our seat out there here.
Okay, well, once again, we check in both sides with Bench Cave.
So I'm here with Didi and Archie,
Oh,
our
here
final
we go,
2
here we go.
qualifiers into the final.
Best
Didi,
interview ever.
your emotions, what are they like after qualifying? Your emotions, how are you feeling?
Feel good, man. It was a little bit close, you know. I made it by 1 point, and that's all what I need, you know. All I was thinking about is to make it second round, and that's it. You know, it doesn't matter how well I did in the first round, as long as I make it to the finals.
I'm looking forward to your second run. Archie, how did you enjoy this year's course?
I'm so happy. I like this course because it's my style, and I'm so happy about this.
You both smashed it. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Benj. Wow, just two champions right there. One defending champion, but everyone's saying is Archie. You know, he's ripe to grab a top spot. It's going to get so heated when we work towards our final as we look at our 6 finalists, and big nod to Noah there making the transfer spot along with Bob Reese, Christian Kowaleski, Ed Scott, Archie Arroyan, and Didi Alawi, defending champ. Our final is set. Right now we check in with Kaz.
Hello, I'm here. Sorry, it's extremely loud, but I'm here with Greek freerunner DK. DK, when we first arrived, I saw you rehearsing. You looked incredible, but unfortunately you had to pull out because of your ankle. How are you?
Right now, I have some pain in my leg. It's called bone edema. I had it since 3.5 months ago. I got it. It healed pretty well. Up until 2 weeks ago, I started to train. Everything was going fine, slow, but fine. And then I felt it here when I did one move. I felt it a bit, so I chose not to compete at the end of the day because health comes first.
Absolutely. And now I've got to ask about Mimi. We saw him in that heat. You've taken him under your wing. You've mentored him. Just talking about you. How proud are you of this guy?
I'm really proud of Mimis, one of the best guys in Greece. He made his way up to here for the Red Bull Art of Motion. For 1 point, he didn't make finals. 1 point. First Red Bull Art of Motion ever. 1 point is a big thing. Didi made it through, and Archie, standing right next to the best guys out there, is a huge thing. So, congrats, bro. Thank you. Congrats.
Mimi, a massive congratulations. He's running away because he doesn't love speaking in English. I spoke to him earlier. How important is it for Greek freerunning, for the competition, to be back here on home turf for you?
Red Bull Art of Motion has been the biggest freerunning in the world, the biggest freerunning competition in the world. It was always a dream to me to be able to compete at the Red Bull Art of Motion, and when it came to Greece, it was that time that I had to step my game up and finally go to compete. I made all of my dreams come true because of Red Bull Art of Motion. I won it, I became a Red Bull athlete. And now it's back to Greece, it came back, different location, Mikro Limano. Great spot, never been done before on a boat.
Well, DK, I'm looking forward to seeing you compete next year because I know that it's going to happen.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm never going to give up. This time, unfortunately, I had to. My body spoke to me. And
I
told me,
won't
"Hey,
until
take
this
care."
time, and then I will.
It's the first time after 8 years of competing that this happened. So I'm actually satisfied. You know, life goes up and down. We have the hard times, we have the good times. It's once every 8 years. I think it's a good thing.
It's an absolutely wonderful thing. It's back to our commentators.
Thanks, Kaz. Just what a delegate for the sport. And you talk about Greece, the country of Olympics. We were back here in 2004, and man, there's been so many art of Motions, Red Bull Art of Motions. As the dust settles on our 3 heats, it allows us to look at the final results for the women. Elise Bigley catching at that 3rd finish spot, Lilu Ruel, but big congratulations to Noah Diorgina taking that top spot, but more importantly, with that 366, makes her way to the finals.
Yes, I think this is only the 2nd time in history. We had Lucy Romberg do that way back in the day, also in Greece for Red Bull Art of Motion when it was back in Santorini. Those are some amazing females out there. I mean, each one of them super talented young athletes, and the best part is they've got a lot more years to go on here. But as we're headed back in, I cannot wait to see what Noah's going to throw down in the finals.